Quinn's Afternoon Army on 95.7 The Hog.
Yo, yo, yo.
Jack, how are you, buddy?
What is up, man? How the heck are you doing?
I'm doing well. Now, first of all, you're going to appreciate this story to start. I'm not going to give out your phone number, but I'm going to tell you this. You have the same cell phone that you've had since you gave it to me years ago, right? And for the past week, I have been texting 59 instead of 559. So I've been sending messages.
I'm sorry about that. I hope there was nothing incriminating.
No. I was just like, hey, man, yeah, so I'm going to hit you up, blah, blah. I'm like, dude, he's big timing me. Dude's not even getting back. What the? And then I'm like, oh, yeah, there's the issue right there.
Yeah, I was too big time. I was hanging out with Justin LeBar.
Oh, well, there you go. You know, LeBar, best man at my wedding. I don't know if that's the best gig he ever got, but I at least gave him that part. I wanted to catch up with you. Clearly, we need to talk about the 200, which we are going to do here. But also, I know you have some dirt on me, and we're going to get to that story later this afternoon, I promise. But first, let's talk about the 200, okay? Because the 79th running of the Daytona 200 coming up this weekend, and this is the 80th anniversary because last year, COVID couldn't run the race. But what an amazing history to the race here.
You know, there is just something so special about all of the motorsports events that take place surrounding Bike Week. Eli Tomac, it was great to see him up on the podium and win the Supercross race. The Daytona 200 is something that is so special in the sport bike world. And, you know, this audience is just starving for action because, as you know, last year, unfortunately, the race was cut. Bike Week was cut.
Right.
That was the start of the pandemic. So I think it's going to mean an awful lot to race fans, teams, even you forget all the ancillary people in the industry, the media, the crew guys, the people that supply the teams with parts, merchandise down the line. Everybody is pumped up and cannot wait for the 200.
It is always exciting at the World Center of Racing, and it really does. Doesn't matter whether it's 2 wheels or 4. But we talk about the history of this race. Now these guys are going to be going into the corners, dropping their knee down at like 180 miles per hour. But go back through the history when it originally started on the beaches. We're talking about original daredevils that were just trying to figure out how far they could push the limits of motorsports, just like it is today.
That's for sure. Daytona is the home of speed for good reason. And that setting right there on the beach is what made this the largest motorcycle festival in the world, bar none. You know, I've been to Sturgis. I've been to North Carolina. I've been to Ocean City, Maryland. There's a lot of other festivals out there, but nothing compares to the magical atmosphere of Daytona. I mean, if you're a two-wheeled fan like me, to sit on Main Street and not see a car in sight and just I know you were down there, handlebar to handlebar, wheel to wheel. It is so cool. It is unlike anywhere else in this world. It's really special.
It's something about taking in that sunset at 5 o'clock coming down Main Street and, you know, just the camaraderie. And especially this year, what I love to see, and we've seen such an influx of people this year, especially compared when things were getting shut down last year. We were in the middle of Bike Week, but people doing it respectfully. Like if someone wants to wear the mask, great, you wear your mask, keep space from everyone, and we can all do this in the right way and show that we can respect each other's space and still have a great time.
Yeah, I agree with you 100%. And I think, we're getting to the point, like I said, where so many people have been locked in. And something I want to stress to the blessed Southern listeners down there, as you would like to say, Daytona, St. Augustine, and all points in between. Yes, I do follow you closely. I do follow you closely when Quinn gets settled in.
Oh,
that's why Jack's got your back.
Jack has always got my back.
You know that. For everybody up here in the Northeast, man, we put the bikes away in October. So you got to realize not only do we have COVID going on, we have guys that haven't cracked the throttle or had an opportunity to ridden or haven't seen anything warmer than 30 degrees or that nice hot ball of flash up in the sky since Halloween. So that's another reason that makes this so special. And if you travel on 95 at all, you'll see the trailers coming down in mass. And it's really, really cool. Gets me really pumped up.
I talked to so many friends from the Northeast who make the trek down here, and then a lot of them end up staying. That's how so many people end up migrating to the area. Now, coming up in a little bit, Jack, we're going to talk about the dirt. I know that I did want to bring it up because I only know this story from my point of view, and that was blackout drunk. So I can't really I've only been told the details by Justin LeBar, a good friend of ours. So I want to get it from your point of view, what happened one night in a bar in Cleveland. Jack Korpella, you can find him on YouTube at CycleDrag. CycleDrag is the page on YouTube. motorsports commentator. He's a rider and a builder as well. Proud to have you in the Afternoon Army. We'll get back to it in just a little bit. Hang on with me, man.
Quinn on 95.7 The Hog.
The official station for Bike Week 2021, 95.7 The Hog. Quinn's Afternoon Army. Been hanging with my buddy Jack Korpella. You can find him on YouTube. The page is CycleDrag. He is a motorsports nut. Said earlier, rider, builder. But when Jack and I first met, he was a broadcaster with WWE. All right, this is the one that I've been dreading to ask you about because I don't even know. I think, yeah, we did talk a few times since this happened, but this was years ago. The first time I met Jack Korpella, now working in motorsports, doing so much. And it's great to see you following your passion because, like I said earlier, you're a guy who you ride, you build, and now you're able to take your passion of broadcasting and apply it to that. So congratulations, man. It's great to see everything you're doing.
Thanks, man. I really appreciate it. And I think I know where you're going with this story. So before I potentially get you fired, I better get my plug in now. The YouTube channel is CycleDrag, CycleDrag. Please subscribe, guys. We're going to have coverage from Daytona Bike Week. We're also going to be over at the NHRA Gator Nationals covering top fuel Harley-Davidsons and pro stock motorcycles. Again, on YouTube, that is CycleDrag. CycleDrag. Thank you.
All right, there you go. So he is legit. He's not just a friend of mine. This guy has a pedigree, and I don't even understand why he's a friend of mine because the first time we met, I potentially completely embarrassed you, and I will take it from my point of view that I pre-gamed way too much at a SmackDown WWE show that you were gracious enough to get tickets for a friend of ours and myself and show up, and we're on the company dime. And then I show up at the hotel bar afterwards as your guest, kind of invited to the inner circle just to hang out. And from that point, I just got obliterated drunk like an idiot. You can take it from there.
You know, well, there's a lot of your listeners right now will appreciate sometimes stories can be summed up in one word. Alcohol. There was no malice. There was no nefarious activity. I had a great time with you guys. True. You and Justin came over in Cleveland. The night just somehow spiraled out of control. We went from telling 1980s WWF stories, WrestleMania, all the way up to the 90s, sitting in the hotel bar. Somehow, at 2:30 in the morning, I remember I had to go back to the room because I said, guys, I got to get to Cleveland Airport in 2 hours. Yeah. And all I remember is you and your guest somehow ended up by the elevator. And I said, boy, this isn't the right way to leave. This is like the 10th floor. And then all I recall is that the lovely folks from Marriott, I think, had to clean up about 5 or 6 smashed beer bottles because I think what we were trying to do is maybe play some type of game.
I don't know.
Where you guys were smashing them against the wall. So I don't want to incriminate you too bad, but it was one heck of a night. I think we can sum it up by saying alcohol.
Well, I appreciate it. And, from day one, because I tried to be a good boyfriend, I texted you the next day and said, I am so sorry that I behaved that way. But Jack, you have always had my back. Jack Korpella, again on YouTube. Give it a plug one more time.
CycleDrag, CycleDrag.
CycleDrag on YouTube. You can get all the info. Can't wait to see your footage from around Daytona and beyond as we celebrate the 80th anniversary of Daytona Beach Bike Week. Jack's got your back. He can use the hashtag. I think he'll give you the props. Again, always appreciate it, man. We'll talk to you real soon.
Thanks so much, and congratulations on all of your success here in your career. Love what you're doing, and they're blessed to have you down there in Daytona.
Quinn's Afternoon Army on 95.7 The Hog.